What up? It's Run and Rock with your morning drip here with another fantastic episode of Portland's Best Morning Show. I am wide awake. I do not know why. I did not sleep last night, but we have two fantastic guests on this episode. Sophia and Jerry in the building. I like how you both went with the same level of enthusiasm. Like,
I know.
I'm only gonna go this high. It's okay. You know what it is? It's because it's no longer Black History Month, so we stopped buying Dead Stop coffee. So the coffee just isn't giving you enough of a kick
I think as you
want. That's a horrible statement. Ian, give us coffee. You are also the co-host of the show, so yes. I hope we make that into a clip. All right, thank you. So how you guys doing?
Good. Yeah, pretty good. Happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you guys on the show. Mainly to hear you roast Richard. I'm gonna be honest. I just can't.
My hardest.
First off, congratulations on both of y'all's success recently and longevity-wise. One, you survived the pandemic, which is fucking amazing. Two, both of y'all kicking ass in the car. You guys officially got on dead stock hours levels. And I don't know if you know what that means.
I don't.
When you get to be like, I'm going to be open on inconvenient hours for anybody else. And I'm going to be like, hey, yo, you know what? We just ain't going to open today. It's okay. We're going to go to Disneyland with the crew. Let's run it. That is officially like, you know what? You're doing good. You're doing good. You're like, I don't have to be here for the late Portland brunch crowd. I can just be here for the regular Portland brunch crowd.
Yep.
I'm just saying, I'm impressed. And both of y'all know how to cook chicken. Both of y'all know how to cook chicken. And that's coming from a Black person. So that's a high standard right there.
And that means a lot to a Filipino.
Uh-huh. And also, I want to say this because I don't think you know this. I was my chosen family, and I was adopted by a Filipino family. So I know how lumpia is supposed to be tasting.
Oh, yeah. I actually was watching one of those episodes where you said that, and I thought that was really cool.
Okay, yeah, word.
So I've been watching.
Yeah, I also got in trouble doing karaoke at a Christmas party, and I am banished from doing karaoke at, I think, any Filipino families, not just my own, just anyone's.
Really?
Like Christopher, I can't, no.
Why?
No.
Did you not sing Whitney or Celine Dion? Is that why?
No, because they gave me the list and they put me on the spot, and it was like my first Christmas with them, like learning about this stuff. And they're like, yeah, so you got to sing. And I was just like, what? And they're just like,
what did you sing?
I sang Marvin Gaye's Sexual Healing.
Oh, that's a good song. That is a good song. I like that song. But in a room full of Filipinos that are
a bunch of grandmas, a bunch of aunties.
Ooh, yeah, they're probably like,
And it was the thing. It was like I was like looking for a song that I'm like, all right, I don't want to have to sing. Like I don't want to have to like belt anything out, but at the same time, I don't want it to not be fun. Yeah. And I thought it would be funny.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's a good song. That's a good like vibing song.
My Filipino mom, Nanette, came up to me and she was just, I thought she was like patting my back and cheering me on, and she was literally being like, off the stage. What are you doing?
Right now.
And I was just like, I did not finish.
No, is there footage?
Oh, is there footage? No, this is pre-cell phone camera days. This is Nokia phone, drop it splits into a million pieces, you put it back together, you good. Like, no. I'm old. Ooh. God, no. That's also, I've not been invited back since then. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm always there for all the birthday parties and everything else. No, so all right, first off, before we get into anything, introduce yourselves, tell the people what you do so we can like fully embrace them into the you-ness of you. Sophie,
okay.
Just go ahead, go first.
I'm Sophia, and I am the co-owner of Mata. And
I'm Jerry, and I am the co-owner of Baon Kainan.
Two slapping ass food carts that happen to be right next to each other, which is also hilarious. Just in the fact that as much as we complain about, like me and Jesus and most of the, well, not Ian, he's weird. Complain about like the food scene in Portland because it's, it's weird. Like it's a thing that like Portland gets this rep of being a very foodie city, but then it's very selective within the foods that it celebrates and it puts out. Like if I was to say, what is a Portland dish? I would be like, oh, like a quintessential Portland dish, grilled cheese and tomato soup. I mean, you can literally get that almost everywhere. But like when you go beyond that, like we don't have like a Philly cheesesteak. We don't have like those staple things. And culturally, we're very specific about the food that's out here. Like the fact that there's a Filipino cart that is in a prominent area within the city is, years ago, I wouldn't think of it. I'd be like, yo, word, I'm going to the Jade District and I'm going to this X, Y, and Z spot that these people know about, but no one else does. Like, I wouldn't think of Portland where you would get that food. Like, I tell this to people all the time when they come in, I'm like, where do you get like your takeout Chinese food? And I was like, oh, you don't.
Only Aunt 82nd.
Yes, like that, like you like in Portland, like service, nah. But like you guys are like the quintessential exception to the rule. Like both of your guys' menus are fantastic. You guys are constantly coming up with new things and adding it to the menu. As you know, the other day I coming up for my new favorite thing. I don't even know the name of, which was sold out. I was so disappointed.
I know.
Dude, I literally came, and I'm making you feel guilty about this on purpose. I got off the plane from New York after getting food poisoning, mind you, on the plane, and I directly was like, oh, I get in time enough to get the breakfasts at the two spots. Because, usually I sit up here and get both. And I got down there and I was like, I don't see the thing that I usually see on the list on yours. And then I was like, wait, the shrimp thing is sold out. I'm like, I'll just get some lumpia and I'll just go home.
I know. I could hear the dejectedness in your voice, and I felt so bad, especially when you said that you came from New York. I was like, dang.
I went straight here, just straight lightning bolt. Didn't stop at Target to get more toys or IKEA IKEA myself. I went straight to y'all.
Wow. Well, thank you. And sorry.
Next time.
No, all right. So first off, how long have you guys both been in the game? Like now, like doing food?
Maybe you start since you were here first.
Okay. Yeah. Since 2018.
2018, all right.
I grew up in a kitchen cooking with my mom, but 2018, food cart life.
Food cart life?
And for me, since 2021.
2021?
Opening the cart with my husband, Ethan. And I've been in the food industry just on and off, just as a server since college, which was over 12 years ago.
Wow. Don't you hate saying that number now that there is a second number to it?
Yeah, and I aged myself.
Don't worry. I do it all the time, and Jesus never lets me live it down. I love that he has a mic over there, and I'm just like, if you just want to take his mic so you can do your own colorful commentary, it's fine.
I turned on the mic. Be happy.
There's nothing like getting roasted by the youth. It's just
by the youth.
too much. Hey, Jesus, can you do me a huge favor?
Talk to me.
Can A, you put it on the middle camera, and then B, can you turn off the heat? Because I am dying.
Oh yeah,
I
you're
know.
glistening.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe maybe grab a brother a paper towel or something just so I can dab my forehead. Just get a little pampering in. All right, so then that's where you started, and now I'm gonna ask you the evil question, and we'll see how well you listened to me beforehand. Where are you guys from?
I'm from Washington.
Okay.
I'm from San Jose, California.
Okay. All right. We're in Washington.
Seattle area.
Okay.
Yeah.
I say that because I used to live in Tacoma.
Oh, okay.
On Hilltop. Hilltop is the hood of hoods in Washington. At least in my youthful experience there. So did you guys, because we ask like certain questions just to get like an establishing thing to let people know like, yo, like what was the path for people to get to where they're at right now. So what was your guys' like childhood like?
Yeah, I said Washington, but I'm from a lot of places because I grew up in a military family. So my childhood was actually moving around a lot. So I was born in Italy, Naples, which is a military base over there. I know, really random. Yeah, I was born in an Italian hospital. My whole birth certificate is in Italian. I had to translate what my blood type was, which should be easy. It's just an O plus, but Italian doctors, and all doctors, I think, are infamous for their bad writing. Yeah. But yeah, so I was born in Naples, and my mom married my dad, who was in the Navy. So he adopted me when they got married. And he brought us to South Carolina for like 6 months. Then we moved to Virginia Beach. That's where we stayed for 6 years.
Okay.
And then we moved back to Italy for 3 years, moved to Hawaii for almost 4 years, and then back to Washington, where we settled in Oak Harbor. And that's where my dad retired. That's another Navy base. So
not
when you
Fort
ask,
Lewis. Yeah. All right. First off, as a child, were you not like kicking and screaming when there's like, hey, we're going to go from Hawaii to Washington? You're like, no, I'm staying here. Bye, parents.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was distraught. It was also high school. So, you know, I was a sophomore going to be junior, and
you were living literally Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we lived there when the movie came out, so it was a good time. It was an awesome
with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So I was Lilo.
Dude, and unlike me, you could somewhat blend in. As I would stick out as a sore thumb, which I learned very easily when I went to Japan, and it was hilarious. Hilarious. But everyone asked me if I was a rapper.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Whole entire time.
Really?
But it's funny because I'm a DJ, so I'm like, no, I'm a DJ, and I'm going to be horrible. Like, oh, I was like, yeah. Same thing but different. Yep, I'm the stereotype. All right, so that is amazing. What was Italy like, or do you really remember it?
I actually do remember it. Like some of my core memories were based in Italy. I think like my cooking history, especially because when my mom was there, she was a single mom.
Okay.
You know, she was in her mid-20s, acting up, and she
called out mom.
Sorry, mom.
She was living her best life.
She was living her best life. I mean, she made best friends. Like she created her group of Filipino women, a community of Filipino women in Italy, which is really hard. Yeah. And so
on a military
no, at this point she wasn't, because she didn't marry my dad, who was military. So my mom was actually a dancer I know it's like kind of wild, but she was a dancer. So she was traveling, touring with her group. And so she retired as a dancer in Italy. Oh. Just because, yeah, she just got stable work there, and yeah, and some of my core cooking memories is like all these Filipino women around me trying to recreate Filipino dishes with Italian ingredients. So those are things that I remember. Yeah, like they would make siopao together, which is the steamed filled bun, and then longanisa sausage. So. Yeah, so I remember those things, and like when I went back when I was like 10, 11, I remember living on a naval base. Yeah. And so that was a different experience, not as immersed into the culture, but definitely we lived in Italy, so it was pretty cool. Like I'm as wild as it was and kind of unstable, right? Like moving around with kids can be pretty challenging, and I definitely feel like I probably
one place with kids is pretty challenging, to be honest.
Yeah, but I'm grateful that we had that experience, and yeah.
All right. Well, come on, give us the youth.
So I was born in El Salvador, Central America.
Okay.
Came here when I was about 3 years old. Mm-hmm. They hired somebody, crossed me the border, and
oh wow,
grew up in San Jose, California.
I
I am a legal citizen now.
I love how you said that like it was the most mundane thing ever. Like I also got some chips from the corner store, and then I got myself
Yeah, you did
a
speak
burrito.
like that. We're over here like,
don't worry, the burrito was kosher. I was like,
So yeah, I remember when I became a U.S. citizen, I was about 9 years old. I had a little white American flag, and they were like, "So say the Pledge of Allegiance," and I was like, "Okay."
did you say it or were you?
I do remember saying it with the help of the lawyer. Yeah.
wow. So
Did you speak much English at that time?
I grew up speaking Spanish, but I do remember I went to school since I was like preschool, so I do remember it was all in English. Yeah.
dude, wait, do you? I'm guessing you don't, but do you remember anything about when you had to cross the border?
No, but when I was like in high school, the lady who brought me over came to visit in San Jose. So when I came over to my auntie's house, my mom's like, "Oh, I want you to meet somebody," and I was like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "This is the lady who carried you and brought you here," and I was like, "Oh, wow."
It's like, you couldn't give me a warning about this, tell me she was coming by. I could have made her some macaroni art at least, something.
I was in high school, so I was a
Oh, high
teenager.
school,
Yeah. I was a
Everybody still
teenager.
appreciates macaroni art, even in high school.
Yes. Oh, I used to do that with my nephews all the time.
Oh,
But yeah, so I met her. She was really nice. Yeah.
That's a very unique experience.
yeah.
That is. All right. Not trying to compare within any kind of way.
Yes.
But I grew up in a, let's just say, not solid foundation household. And so my mom had to leave. So I kind of, and I'm only saying this to ask this, like we had the whole entire like kind of fish out of water experience because we lived in Chicago and then we moved to Washington, we moved to Tacoma. And it was a thing of having like some semblance of family, but I don't really remember them, to having absolutely no family. And I became the kid that then was like, everybody's my chosen family. Like, it's like, oh, you're the kid that's next door? All right, you're now my best friend, and now you're my brother. Just like, that's where we're going with this.
Yeah.
Did you have anything like that when you came out here? Like, I'm guessing your parents?
Yeah, so everybody was here. I'm the youngest.
Okay.
So I grew up with a huge family. So
How many?
I have
I like how you jerked back and had like, oh God, let me get my abacus out.
I have 4 older brothers and 2 younger brothers,
Okay.
and I'm the only girl.
You're the only girl? Oh man. All right. Yeah. That's a whew, I'm now wondering what it was like for Richard when y'all started dating.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a very good memory of one of my older brothers. When I told him I was dating somebody and I was bringing him over, my brother was like, "Oh, you can bring him over. It's fine. I'll be in the backyard with my shovel, just digging his grave while he's inside the house." And I was like, "Okay."
Damn. Wow.
That's crazy.
I got punched out by a dad once.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, why?
All right, this is the funny thing. I was not interested in their daughter whatsoever. She was literally my sister. Like, best friends forever. She, in fact, had a crush on every single one of my friends but me, and I literally had a crush on every single one of her friends but her. And she was the one friend that parents were like cool enough to let people come over the house and like have like little parties or whatever else, but we're not drinking or anything. We're just all like hanging out, watching movies or whatever. And he had like, he's an old school white dude, and he just had a stack of Playboys underneath his like side table. And I don't know what happened, if someone grabbed it or someone brought it out, but someone brings it out, and then he finally comes in and they like hand the thing to me, and I'm just like, whatever, and just put it back down. Like it's not a big deal. And he's like, touching my Playboys, bro? Or boy? He did say boy. I remember this very vividly. I was like, huh? And he's just like, Pop!
Oh, what?
And I was just like, Nice. What up, Stephanie? Yeah, he get. It wasn't like I'm gonna knock you out, but it was just like, hey, how you doing? Bop. Just a little bop. Yeah. And it was pretty great. My girlfriend doesn't remember, but her dad pretty much did the same thing to me when I first met him. But I was a grown ass adult.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She's like, my dad never punched you. I'm like, your dad straight up punched me in the face.
Why did he punch you?
This one is a little bit vaguer in my memories. We're playing Super Mario, and I think I just told like a bad joke, and he was just bam. And I was like, okay, I'll shut up now, sir.
Yeah, I mean, Super Mario is intense, so
Yeah.
I think we all have violent tendencies
Violent tendencies while
when it
playing
comes
that
to
game.
video games. So I hear you.
And it's like the new Wii version where you have what? No, you didn't. Oh, I didn't bring it? Don't worry, the episode's still recording. It just didn't. We don't got the HD 230p XYX version.
Oh shoot,
We're gonna look all grainy.
No.
that's fine as long as I don't look oily.
Speaking of which, where the hell's that?
Oh, there's napkins. Oh, are these? I don't know.
But yes.
No, you look fine.
Also, it's a thing that's on the show. Something always goes wrong. We habitually have things mess up during the show, no matter how hard we try to prepare to make everything right. Like even us getting in this space was like resolving like a bunch of the problems of like, all right, so we kind of still in someone's internet to sit up here and stream the show. We only have one outlet for all the power for the show, which if you can imagine
really?
is a lot. So yeah, in the space when we were next to Dead Sock, one outlet.
Wow.
Dang.
And we were running 2 refrigerators on it.
Oh, wow.
On top of that.
Dang.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
I feel like that's the same with us when we do pop-ups. Like I feel
Yeah.
like that's it. We got this.
I know,
And then
I
we
was
show
gonna
up
say.
and I'm like, everything's going too smooth. We
Yeah,
forgot
it's
something.
weird.
We forgot
Yeah,
something.
and sure enough.
Yep. Always happens.
Yeah. I was just gonna say cart life in general.
Yeah.
Like we go into work and it's just like, okay, everything's good, and something always.
I mean, with all the like stealing and stuff that's going on in Portland right now, does it make you super feel like nervous and vulnerable? Because I know vulnerable. God, I can really speak well. Especially like after Han's cart or not cart, but restaurant just got hit, and then the cart next to it got hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's scary. We had a huge encampment that was like around the corner from our carts. So I think that just caused a lot of suspicious activities at night. And it's really dark at night where our carts are, so there's not that much lighting. But thanks to Clark now, he put cameras all around the corners. So I get the notifications. I'm always like, oh, who's there?
Yeah, I think it became more frustrating than fear. At first, I was fearful because that was something that I hadn't experienced in a while. But yeah, and it just got frustrating because it was like one thing after another, and we're just trying to make it, And some of the things that we experienced was during like winter time, which wintertime is already hard for carts. So having someone steal our propane tanks or try to break into our cart, like they've broken our lock, like sawed off part of our lock, and we had to replace the lock. It's very costly, and but in the pursuit of trying to live your dream, all of those things. I mean, like you were talking about in creating the studio, like that really resonated because it's like those things aren't going to stop us from doing what we set out to do. So
It's just little bumps in the road.
yeah.
no, it's tempering still. It's like to become stronger, to be able to handle whatever challenges that are going to come up, because we're going to get into this, but like dealing with customers, dealing with the city, dealing with like, the missed opportunities, like all those things just make you stronger and make you wiser to like the next thing coming up, because it's like, yo, I went through this, because we forgot like the chicken bag, or we left this thing out the night before, or whatever else. This ain't gonna stop us. This ain't nothing. Like, do you remember when we had to deal with this homeless person?
Yeah.
We got this. So I think that's like one of the beautiful things about you guys just in general, like how you've been able to survive it, like surviving the pandemic, like how, aside from the pandemic, how is it, like, how do you feel about like the city stepping up and helping out in the sense of being like, yo, I'm tired of getting broken into. I'm tired of being scared about, like, you know, things of that nature happening. Like, I know Ian last, now I'm really happy I got these napkins. That Ian blasted off about it being like, yo, this is the, what was it, 7th time he got broken into?
Yeah.
Like, how are y'all feeling about it? Like, you like city step up, or you understanding?
I still don't know what the city is doing.
Yeah, it's not as clear to me, and I think because I'm not consuming some of the media that's out there, but I did read something about the city, you know, working on homelessness in the first 60 days of Tina Kotek being in office. And I mean, in terms of like direct impact, I guess, like, you know, the encampment was cleared out like a couple months ago, which I felt the impact of that, but we're still, you know, even after that, we're still getting broken into, things being stolen. So it's hard to see the impact sometimes. And that's just where I'm at in terms of how I feel about it. So, yeah, I don't feel the impact.
Yeah, I don't feel the impact. I feel like it's kind of like up to us. At least that's how it feels like. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll just try our hardest and see where it goes.
Yeah. I definitely know within being in Chinatown that it's a lot. Like, I've told multiple times on the show, like, you know, I stopped someone from getting murdered. I've seen all the crazy stuff, but like, I couldn't imagine like being like, I'm paying taxes, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. If I pick up the phone and call the cops, it takes them a half hour to an hour to show up. Like, if there's like a real emergency, like, what am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? And even more so, it's like, you know, as a minority business owner, like, especially being women, it's like, what do you expect of me? Like, as an owner, like, I already have all these challenges to go through. Like, the odds of me being successful are low, but somehow I've survived all that. Do I have to be a person that's a part of cancel culture to sit up here and make all these complaints to my government and everything else? Or like, how do I speak to you on a level that you treat me as like just as important as any executive at Nike, where if I ask something of you, you actually go through with it. Like, you actually take the time to hear me out.
I think it's frustrating because as a small business owner, I see how much money we pay in taxes and I'm just like, where is it going? There's still potholes. My car's getting fucked up. I'm like, there's still trash on the streets. There's still a lot of homelessness. There's still a lot of crime. There's still a lot of like horrible things happening. So I'm like, where is this money going? I'm like, but then you have the people who work in those offices, live in their nice homes and their nice communities. They don't got to deal with it. So I'm like, why do we have to deal with it?
Why does it fall to us?
Yeah.
A lot of the time. And and you know, with all of those things that we're dealing with, we're just trying to live our day to day and run our business. We don't have time to do all these other things to rally for change, because that takes a lot of time to truly make an impact. And so outside of, like, you know, I vote and I try to stay on top of the current issues in the community, but at the same time, it's like I run a business and that comes with a lot of pressures and just trying to position my business in a way that's going to help us pay the bills, you know? And so, yeah, it is. I agree. It's pretty frustrating that it feels like a lot of the time it just falls on us to create those changes because those issues are directly impacting us, but we're not the ones who created those issues.
Yeah. And it's a scary thing, and I'm not trying to harp on this subject too much, but I just want to like make people understand what it's like on this side of the fence. I think it's a scary thing because if you speak out and you start to talk about it in any kind of light, like especially with like the break-ins, like a lot of people are like, well, they don't have money and like you should be, and it's like, yo, I understand that, I sympathize with that, but also I don't have money. I'm not rich. And like, I have to be able to take care of this. Like, I think a lot of people don't realize, like, well, you get insurance and all that stuff gets paid back. It's like, no, it doesn't.
Insurance only works to a certain extent. Like our insurance actually doesn't cover that much. It just allows us to be on a property so that we can pay rent. It helps the property owner, but not much else. So
it's more in the sense of like, hey, your propane tank exploded and it sit up here and damaged half the building and maybe maimed a little bit.
Right.
That's what it covers. It doesn't cover like, hey, Jack just sit up here and came through and broke all your glass, only took a chicken and then ran off. And it's like, yo, we don't, the insurance doesn't pay for the glass in a lot of different respects. It doesn't pay for some of the other damages, or even more so, your downtime to sit up here and repair, take care of that stuff, and then to come back. Because that was the thing that I thought about with Han. I was like, yo, someone's stealing all my food. I'd rather them take my cash, because at least then I can open up the next day and try to make some of that money back. You steal my food, I can't cook that day. I have to go and replace all that stuff, which means then I either have to have my staff do it or I have to do it. So that's double money lost on me. And then I have to try to come back and get everything back in order. Like, I think it's just a thing that people really don't realize how. I know everyone gave so much credit to first responders within the pandemic. I am going to give you your flowers on being able to not only stick around, but people not understanding the risk and what people were having to do to stay open as a business, to literally feed communities. And I think people are short-sighted within being like, hey, these people work day in and day out, work to the bone, like, and feed you. Like, that's the thing that we recognize our mothers for, our fathers for, in a huge instance. It's a big part of our memory of our childhood, of our lives, is eating. And it's just this thing. It's like, during the worst time in recent history, y'all were still doing it in a broken system. Like, hey, yo.
Yeah, it was hard.
For real.
Yay.
But now on happy notes.
Yes.
On happy notes. So the trend of food carts. I know that there's a lot of cliches and different stuff that people, what is the one that annoys you the most? That like people think like, oh, this is food cart life. Like it's great. Like what is the cliche thing that's like everyone says to you that you're just like, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about?
that's a good question. It's like, where do we start? But also, what has happened recently?
You can give several. You can go down the list. It's totally fine.
I don't know. I think like the quality of food that comes out of carts sometimes, like the cliche, I think, with food carts, it's fast food. It should be cheap. And now, I mean, there have been food carts that have been pumping out quality food, of course, and charging the prices that they're supposed to charge. But sometimes with our food being Filipino food, like we get comments like, why would I spend $14 on a pork belly dish like our tosilog? And it's like, what? I know.
And it's get it from my mom. Then get it from your mom.
Then I know. Then you cook it. And I think that's the cliche. It's like our food, and that's maybe like not even maybe, but that's a bigger conversation too. Like, why do we have to cheapen Asian food in general? But yeah, and then we're out here pumping out this incredible food experience, putting so much work into it. Like Sophia does her bread from scratch and puts so much work into it. We do everything from like our pork belly we cure in-house. And we create all of the sauces from scratch. We don't typically buy any of the processed sauces out there. And so there's a lot of time that goes into the food we do. So I think that's one cliche, that food cart food is just cheap and fast.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree 100%. Because sometimes I'm just like, man, people don't understand how much work we had to put in to then be like, here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys have to do, I mean, because you guys are in a cart, you have to do a lot of the prep at home. You just don't have the space. And then, like, luckily for you guys, you have concourse next door, so you can do some of the stuff within there. But, like, yeah, I guess I didn't think of that. It's also weird, and correct me if I'm wrong. Why is all white food always higher valued than any minority race food?
Right.
But every minority like race food is significantly better and more popular than like, I would think like the first thing that comes to mind is like Olive Garden. Olive Garden's prices are higher than your prices, but your quality and work within it is way higher than Olive Garden's. But they won't complain about Olive Garden, which is like literally they take tomato sauce, take some ground beef, put them together, and then do the most basic pair of noodles they can get off the shelf, and put it in there.
Yeah.
Like it sometimes looks like a TV dinner.
They give you unlimited
yeah.
breadsticks.
I've gotten
but they're
flat
frozen breadsticks.
Yeah, I've gotten flat rigatoni. You know, like I've gotten flat ones, so you know that it comes from a package, and I'm like, wow, we paid $20 for this.
But yet they come to you when they're literally watching you cook the food. And anytime I'm on both y'all's end, anytime there's shrimp in something, I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm getting taxed for this.
Yeah.
Like, that's shrimp. Is it delicious?
The luxury.
But like, like it's so weird, like how like culturally they try to make.
I just
art.
think that sometimes like non-colored folks, so like white people, just know
You're
their
in a
worth.
safe space.
They
You're
just
in a
know.
safe space. You can say, you call them by name.
Okay. But like they hold themselves at a high standard, so they know their worth, they know their value, so they're not afraid to charge $20 for something that somebody else might not feel their worth or their value, because they're like, well, I'm a person of color, so I don't think people will buy that, so I'm just going to charge $10. And it's like, that's something I feel like we've had to learn. Like, no, we're not going to be like that. I know my worth, I know my value, I know how much work I put into this, and that's what it's going to cost. It's going to be this price. And if you don't agree with it, then don't eat here. It's fine. There's many other places you can eat at that will be...
Not that are good.
Yeah.
Portland overhyped a lot of the mundane and then excludes the extraordinary. And it is very surprising sometimes, like when I hear people like talk about certain foods and then I'll go to it and I'll just be like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is all right. I'm gonna go back to my homie spot. And how do you feel like the line of being like, we're a food cart, and they're like, oh, but when are you gonna like open up a restaurant and get like serious about it? Like, how do you feel like about that mentality within Portland? Because it seems like everyone's like, all right, you did this, but you gotta do this because that's what's successful.
Yeah, I don't believe in that. I'm content where I am. But if people want to pursue this agenda that I should be in a brick and mortar, then you buy the brick and mortar for me then. You want me to be so bad in a brick and mortar, then buy it for me. I'm like, I'm okay being in a cart.
Yeah, I just don't understand why that, like being in a cart that we're already so successful in, why that wouldn't be the epitome of success. And we define what success is too at the end of the day. So it is, part of that I don't like is like the unsolicited business advice.
Yes.
Like we get that a lot. Just people coming up and they're leaning on the cart and they're like, your food's so good, you should open up a brick and mortar. It's like, wow, that's so easy. It's just like, okay, like I'm gonna quit and just do that. You know,
you know what? I'm gonna take all the expense of having a wait staff when I don't have to, and there's a line.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, I mean, for us, like Sophia said, me and Ethan are content with being in the cart and like defining our success that way. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we do want to have a brick and mortar one day, but we're going to do it on our terms.
Exactly.
On our time and hopefully on someone else's dime. Investors come through.
Yo, that it doesn't it suck just a little bit though when you know you got the sauce. When you got the sauce and you're like, I don't need y'all, but I wish y'all would realize I have the sauce right now. So instead of having to wait until, I get 13 news articles written about me and 75 different interviews of people being like, so this food is amazing. And did you know about this hidden gem? It's like, we ain't hidden. People been coming here. Yeah. We are well known and successful.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. The underdog narrative is interesting. It's
very interesting.
Yeah, we've been here. Like, and not even just us, but like even other Filipino food carts have been around too, that do amazing food. And I also don't want to forget about them. Like, there are people that
shout them out.
Yeah, preceded us.
This is your episode.
Yeah.
Well, I think the big culture that happens in Portland that I really like is like, the community. And we're always shouting each other out. I think that just because one person is successful, you shouldn't, shout out other businesses. Like, we all got to eat.
Yeah, we all got to eat.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of room at the table.
Exactly.
And and for Filipino American food carts, there are new ones coming up on the scene, like Makulit. They just opened at Low America, and we're so stoked for them. Like, someone asked us a long time ago, they were interviewing us too, about like, how do you feel about more Filipino American food coming on the scene? Like, do you feel like that's going to, is that competition? Is that going to take you out, because they might do more authentic Filipino food than you. And that's a whole thing in itself, authenticity, but...
authentic to who?
Yeah, authentic to who. And it's just like, we need more Filipino-American food carts. We need more people of color in business in general. And, why wouldn't we want to lift them up in the same sense that we lifted each other up?
It's like Chinese American restaurants and Thai restaurants. I'm like, there's so many. I don't feel like they're competing. Yeah. Like, I eat at all different types of Chinese restaurants.
That's the thing, is that people have signature dishes at places, and I'm like, I go to Red Onion because I like the angel wings. But there's
I heard
other
you talking
spots.
about that last time. I was like, I need to try that.
Yeah, I want to try that.
Yeah.
Crack. It's crack. In fact, it's not that's the crack. It's the sauce that isn't. There's like sweet and sour sauce, which I'm like, this should be your house sweet and sour sauce. I don't know what you do. You chopped up the stuff. It's fantastic. But the regular one, I'm like, this is a basic ass sweet and sour sauce. But you literally have crack over here. Switch that out. Nobody wants this. I'm not hating. I'm just saying. One of your sauces is cracking. You should just lean in with the strong one, All right. So you said something that like kind of triggered something in my head. Do you feel like there's a difference between authentic cuisine and traditional cuisine? Because I feel like that is a thing that happens within Portland, especially with like fused foods and like, hey, this isn't the way my grandmother traditionally it's done. Like, how do you feel about that?
I feel a lot of things about that. Oh my gosh.
I like how Soph right next to you was just like, triggered.
I know, we talk about it so much.
Yeah,
we talk about it so much. And it's like, and it comes down to wording, terminology. And I'm going to plug Chef Carlo Lamagna. He did a TED Talk on this, and we talk about it with him all the time. like authenticity in food is actually so much more personal than people think across, cultures and just your experience growing up wherever you came from. Exactly. And so like our food is authentic because it's authentic to us personally. Yeah. This is our truth on a plate, and we are sharing that truth with you.
That's a bar.
Right?
That was a bar. This is our truth on a plate.
It is. And we're being vulnerable and sharing that with people. So that's
Please
another
put that on
thing.
a shirt.
And in terms of traditional, I almost want to pair with classic. Like there is a classic chicken adobo. And the foundations are very similar across the board, across traditions. There's the vinegar and there's soy and there's garlic, but it's not always onion or it's not always, there's not always sugar. And, those are just like the classic foundational like similarities you see across traditions and cultures, right? And so that's like how I like to explain it, but I can't explain it like that at the cart when I'm like taking people's orders. But yeah, we get those questions a lot. Like, oh, your chicken adobo, is it authentic? And I do say it's authentic to us. But if you're looking for a classic chicken adobo, yeah, like we have the foundations of that. We just, our process is a little different. And, but we still get the comments of, ugh, you grill your chicken? Like, grilling the chicken is not authentic. And it's like, we literally grilled the chicken. Is it not good? It's still good.
Yeah.
It's still good chicken.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I think it's...
If I may on that.
Yep.
How much do you get to touch on that on your guys' show? Because I also know you guys have a show that's called Not Your Tita's Cooking. So how much do you get to dive into that in that show?
a lot. Yeah. Our first episode or our second episode was doing a chicken adobo.
Yeah.
And
right.
Ethan did our version.
Put it up there.
And then I did the classic. And when you take the two like recipes, they're essentially the same. It's just what our version is. It's authentic to us.
Right.
That's what makes it a little different. But,
yeah.
Good question. Thank you.
Yeah, I think Jerry nailed it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I always think when people, especially people outside the race, say things like that, I'm automatically like, so you want something stereotypical. You're stereotyping my cooking.
Yes.
You're saying there's only one way to be this, like there's only one way to be black, or there's one way to sit up here. Like, no, like this is authentic to how my parents did it, or how, how my walk of life and experiences has, like, yo, I was in Italy. We didn't have certain things. We only had this, so I had to do it this way. So I grew up with it this way. So this is authentic to me. Yep. So don't sit up here and say I'm inauthentic, because that's like saying I'm not a part of my culture, or I'm not a part of my foundation. I am. Like, yeah, go. No, I think that's, see, the only problem that I have with Portland in that sense of that mentality, that's always like, it feels like a constant, it's just like, and you nailed it on the head, there's not enough, and then when it finally comes, they act like we're supposed to be against each other. It's like, I remember like someone was saying to Ian at one point, he's like, man, like there's another black coffee spot opening up. Like, how do you feel about it? And he's like, happy. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not alone. I got someone to talk to.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. Please, more of you come. And I was just like, yo, word. They really do want like us to be like not only pigeonholed in like how we express our culture within whatever niche it may be, coffee, food, art, whatever. But they also, I think Jesus got it up for us.
Yeah. So like when another bar opens, try to be like, look, another bar's opening up. How do you feel about that? I'm like, there's so many bars. They're not competing.
I'm like, yo, there's other black DJs. There's other black DJs with dreads that look exactly like me. I'm not mad because they exist. I'm happy there's more of us. Like, it makes it so I don't have to feel alone. And especially when I say something, someone else can be like, yes, they treat me the exact same way. All right, explain to me what's going on right now.
Yeah, so this is one of our episodes. We're part of the All the Homies Network. And this episode is Not Your Tita's Cooking series. It's a cooking show, essentially. So I'm explaining the classic way to do chicken adobo. And I'm explaining in this part the traditional versus authenticity versus our version. And yeah, I'm just doing, oh, are we going to listen to it?
I was trying to give it a little bit of volume. Is it? You just unmute that TV.
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
I can. Tito Carlo.
Yeah, Tito Carlo. I call him Kuya. He's not that much older.
Is it gonna? Hold on. It's okay. We'll just keep going.
This is weird watching myself.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, I know. Wait until you get after 50 episodes. You just like, so that's really what I sound like.
Yeah, and like I do
the mannerisms that you figure out. Yo, I say sitting up in here so much. All right, Jesus, do I say sitting up here in my regular life that much?
Yes.
Oh, I do.
Sitting up.
Yeah. So he says it when he starts to get passionate about something. So it's like when he's frustrated about something, or he's like really excited. He's like, yo, I can't wait to be sitting up here and eating this, da 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 da, or frustration. It's just like when his emotions are at
High.
above average.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody has like a little thing, I guess.
Yeah, I say it a lot. It's bad. They literally we used to have these white tables that you could like have a dry erase board, and Ian would just sit and just like tick it off how many times I said it,
would.
and he's like, you only have 20 today. It's good. And I'm just like, okay. It's not the best, but whatever. But yeah, he loved getting on me about that. Ian's also a part of the All Homies Network, right?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
He's the only black one. It's okay. It's our unique community, and I think that's what a great representation of the network is. Who's all in the network? Let me see if I can bring it up while you.
We have Kim from Portland Cafe. We have Lisa from Heyday Donuts. We have Jerry and Ethan from Baon Kainan. We have Ian from Dead Stock Coffee. And then
I like to say he's Ian from Your Morning Drip.
Ian from Your Morning Drip. And me and Richard from Mata. Did I miss anybody? Oh, and then the director, Mike.
Our manager, Mike.
Our manager. Shout out to Mike.
He approved us to be here.
Huh? Wait, what?
He approved us to be here.
We got approval from Mike.
I'm just joking.
Wow.
But he's probably watching like,
Hi, Mike.
hi, Mike.
I hope my questions are fitting, and if they're not, I'm not sorry. I'm good. Fine. Hi, Mike. No, and even you guys within the space, like I love seeing like more Portland shows come out of here, because like the TV that represents us, like after the whole entire, and I say this fiasco of Portlandia being the representation of like us, and then when the Real World was out here, it was a long time ago. I'm dating myself by saying that.
Oh, there was a Real World out here?
There was a Real World out here. It was real shitty. It was not one of the fire seasons. I think I maybe watched like a third of one episode, because they ended up coming to one of the bars that I was DJing at, and it was like a whole ordeal. And one of the homies that like was a bar manager was just like, yo man, the Real World's trying to come in here, and we just like found out that they were coming, or they're in the city. And I was just like, oh, for real? And he's like, yeah, you want to let them in? They're gonna bring a bunch of lights and cameras and all this stuff. And I was like, nah, I'm good. And he's like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. they got so mad at us that we wouldn't let them in. And then like the next night or something like that, I had another event, and they came through, and the owner was like, oh yeah, come in. And they were like trying to tell me what to play.
Oh,
and I was just like, oh no, you gots to go. And then one of my homies ended up getting into a scuffle with the dude. So I was trying to see the fight on TV. I was like, oh, I missed the whole thing. He's like, yo, dude, they had cameras out there, man. We're going to be able to see the whole thing on TV.
They cut it.
Cut it. I was so mad. But yeah, that was Crown Room days, by the way. it was good times. So tell us about the network.
Yeah.
Mike's like, no.
No, it's just that we've done so much
yeah.
work. Like Mike's done so much work. I mean, we show up and we
Yeah,
share
it feels
our
like
story,
you guys
but
just started.
Yeah.
I did not
So-
know you guys had this much
It's
content
kind
already.
of just based on like everybody who's in the network. They kind of create their own show that they want to do based on what it is that they're passionate about. So like Kim from Portland Cafe, her show's basically she loves just showcasing other coffee cafes in the city. So she goes to the other cafes and kind of meets with the baristas or the owner and just kind of goes over their whole aesthetic and coffee shop and like what do you do? Where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. And then Lisa, hers is more like baking. I don't know if she talks in hers. Is it?
yeah, it's really cool. It's ASMR.
Yeah, ASMR.
So
So if you like ASMR stuff,
Yeah,
that's all Lisa's.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then you have your show.
Yeah, we have our cooking show and we'll do other things. But yeah, I mean, all of this content is really to, when I was talking about putting our truth on a plate, now we're extending on that truth, the things that we're not able to say. And I think this is a manifestation of like the why of behind what we do. So yeah, I think this is such a great opportunity for all of us to be able to expand on why we make the food that we do and like just who we are. Like we're also more than our food.
Right.
Like we are people. We're not just machines pumping out things for you to eat. Like we have a story.
Delicious things for us to eat. Let's be clear
Delicious,
about that.
Delicious things.
Yeah, so it's a cool way everyone to showcase their stories and just, we're creating really cool shows.
Yeah. And
Like,
it's
how
funny.
did this come about? Did like Mike like come up and approach me and like, yo, I want to make the Portland YouTube empire food network.
He kind of didn't ask us. He was just like, hey, I'm doing this and you're a part of it.
Okay, I was wondering what your experience was because, like, that happened to us too. Mike was telling us about it because he was saying that y'all were going to be a part of it, and Ian, and we were like, oh, that's so cool. Like that, yeah, we love that idea. And then he was like, okay, so you want to be a part of it, and we're like, oh, I don't know if we have the capacity, but we didn't say a hard yes, but he was like, okay, so we're scheduling our first episode on this day. What do you want to do? But that's great for us, though. Sometimes we need that push because I think me and Ethan are naturally on the shyer side, more
What?
introverted.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, I would never expected that.
Oh, wait, is this sarcasm? Oh, my God. Am I showing my gullibleness? Great. So
Oh,
this is
man.
who I am.
Jerry makes it seem so easy, even though she's probably like,
Oh, yeah, I'm raging inside.
Oh no.
What were we talking about?
I was asking how this all kind of came about, and you were saying that you kind of forced your hand.
I wouldn't say that, but it all worked out. So
Yeah.
now we have this great following, and yeah, we're sharing a lot of great content, and I'm excited for what else we're gonna do. But yeah,
Yeah, I think that this is like one of those. All right. This in general is like a dope list of being like, I really want to be in like a larger version of this where like maybe it's like a family dinner where we could all be around the table and just being like sharing stories and like hanging out. That must suck for you guys. Every time that there's like a large enough gathering, it's like, so y'all want to bring the food? It's like you get one plate each from all of us. Shut up, we're not doing anything more. It's like,
to be honest, like we've had a lot of family meals at the Content House, and I want to say most of them now have been cooked by Frank.
yeah,
Yeah.
Frank and Mike.
Yeah,
so
Frank and Mike.
they do take care of us.
Yeah.
okay.
which is good.
Yo, you trying to put passwords in for things for? Better let me mute that screen real quick.
You're about to get hacked.
I love whenever I say anything to Jesus like that. He always gives me like, "Oh, we're gonna talk about this after the show."
Yeah, that's the face he was like, what?
What I love about it is that I knew that if I clicked on something, like it would show on the screen. So I have it on just him. So even if I pressed it, nobody saw nothing. But
See?
it's all good.
Knows how to push your buttons.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Jesus is no, you know what? I'm not gonna say that. I realized what I was about to say and all the jokes that were gonna line up afterwards, and I'm not gonna do it. Look at him. He's even ready for it. Jesus is like the one that's ready for the smoke, but he just inhales it all in and breathes out fire at you, and you're like, yo, bro, we didn't need to do all that. Calm it down. He's like, no, I want the smoke.
Yeah. That's definitely Jesus. Chewy.
All right. So, and I'm sorry. Sometimes like I think about this stuff and I want to say it, but then I also realize the horrible new world that we live in where people have their third eye open, but their two eyes are closed because they're woke.
Quote unquote.
So how's it being a woman chef in Portland?
A moment of silence.
R.I.P. for the real ones.
Yeah. Well, for me, I haven't been in the industry as I wouldn't consider myself a cook. Maybe I'm a prep cook at best.
Girl, who you lying to? Who you lying to? That's a whole ass lie.
Yeah. Well, okay. So then there's that part of it. Being a woman in the industry, you're underestimating yourself because you have all these things and people telling like, are you a line cook? Are you a chef? So there's that. There's that.
Hold on.
I'm working on it.
Time out. You don't see yourself as a chef?
No. But like I said, I think there's just a general culture too in the culinary world where you have to get your reps in. And I hear Ethan say this all the time. And have I gotten my reps in? I mean, it's been hard for sure, but I'm also new. But I don't know. I struggle with that. Like, I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I don't consider myself a chef. Maybe a cook. I can cook.
Yeah, I can cook.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's okay. I take pride in that.
Yeah.
But like,
Your face.
All right. Do you consider yourself a chef?
I guess. I mean, I've been a sous chef before, so I've been able to like manage other cooks. But I will say that on the cart, the two of the most popular dishes are the palabok and the vegan sisig, and those are all Jerry. Like,
yay!
like the palabok, Jerry's made from scratch. All I do is just like heat up the noodles and cook the shrimp, and then
Oh, you're talking about my favorite dish.
Yeah, that's all Jerry. And then for the sisig, that's all Jerry's idea. Like, I'm just.
You guys made me like tomatoes. Remember we've had this discussion before?
Yeah.
The little tomatoes. I was just like, yo, yeah, I'll take the
I know, you're
tomatoes.
like,
I was so like, I don't want these tomatoes. And then I ate them. I was like, oh, these motherfuckers delicious.
Oh, I love that.
It's one of those things that's like, it's a parent being like, no. I understand you don't like vegetables. You'll like this. These are good. And then you're just like, I don't want that shit. What do you mean? I remember I had to convince my kid to eat a Cinnabon. And he was just like,
Really?
My son does not trust me with food. Like whatsoever.
Oh.
And it was the thing that like when he was first born, he would steal my food. And I would get like spicy noodles. I would get like the like spoiled mac from Montage or whatever else. And he'd be like, no, give me that. Like as a little baby, like I'm like, you don't want this. This is spicy. This is gonna mess you up. He's like, and then my girl was like, yo, if you want him to eat your food, you gotta feed it to him now. Like if you wait too long, he's not gonna do it because my girlfriend is white. But anyways, long story short, he would eat that food, be spicy as all hell, and he would be like, fine. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know what happened, but he likes the blandest of bland foods. And so I'll be like, oh, here's like a apple pie thing. And he's just like, no, I'm good on that. Yo, here's some mint ice cream. No, I'm good on that. You just want regular vanilla? Regular vanilla. Do you just want rainbow sprinkles? You don't even want the chocolate sprinkles? Yeah, you don't want chocolate sprinkles. I want
Oh no!
And I'm just like,
just
I'm
traumatized.
He's just the blandest of the bland. It check this out. It took me. I've been dating my girl since my daughter was 3. Not until my daughter was in middle school would she eat the chicken I made on the bone. She was like straight up and down, I'm afraid of chicken on the bone. Wow. Not doing it. Wow. Not doing it. Blew my mind. But getting back to what y'all really don't consider yourselves chefs is blowing my mind. All right. What is a chef versus a cook? Let's clear that out of the way, because maybe what I'm thinking of culturally of what I'm envisioning is different.
I think a chef comes with a pedigree, like they went to culinary school and maybe cooked at some nice restaurants. I'm looking at Ethan. I'm like, is that right? I Is that not right? Oh, what is it then? What's a chef?
Like, I just think someone that's a chef.
Hey, Sus, can you look up the definition of a chef? Or I guess I literally have a laptop in front of me. I can stop being like, hey, Jesus, can you?
That's kind of deep
Welcome to
too.
my life.
The definition of a chef.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
For me, a chef is somebody who went to culinary school, put in the rep, worked in kitchens, and worked up to eventually become the title of chef.
Yeah, like worked up the brigade.
Yeah. For me, it's like I don't aspire to be a chef. I just love to cook, and I love cooking the things that we cook. I can cook everything on the food cart, and I don't call myself a chef, but I also don't aspire to be a chef. I'm just Sophia who cooks on the cart.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it, of why I don't consider myself a chef, because I don't aspire to be a chef. Like, that isn't my calling. But I do, cooking is what I do. And so if you're going to call me a cook, I guess here we are. But yeah. But yeah, like what Sophia said, like I think that's the biggest part, is we don't aspire to be that. Like I just love to cook for people, and that's just something I do, but it's not who I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I will also say that specifically in both of you guys' carts, you guys also have really good desserts. So how does the baking aspect come into what you guys do in the carts?
I consider myself a baker too.
You would consider
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, a cook and a baker.
I don't consider myself a baker. The bibinka is really easy to put together. And actually, Ethan was making it on the cart before, and then I started making it because I was trying to help. Because he was doing a majority of the prep, because I transitioned my career into cooking, and so I was really new, and so I was learning a lot from Ethan in terms of how to cook like professionally.
What were you doing before?
I was doing marketing and tech. No.
Glass shattered.
Like a lifetime ago.
You're blowing my mind. What were you doing before?
I worked in hospitals. Yeah, for 7 years. Never thought I was going to be a food cart owner or work in food. Actually, growing up, I grew up in a kitchen with my mom, and we would go to church, and one of the things that she would do is cook meals on Sunday for the church. Mm-hmm. So we would have to cook huge amount of food. And I remember having to get up early, help her cook, and like just the mess in the kitchen and all the labor that went into cooking. I literally remember being young and be like, I am never going to do this. Like, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to go to school, and I'm not going to do this type of work.
You were straight up like, I am not doing that shit.
And here we are. And here I am,
Dang.
doing the thing I said I wasn't going to do.
Oh, wow.
Thanks, Richard.
And the roast begins.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, I guess the way I always thought of the definition of chef was just in the sense of being like, you've gotten to a point of mastering your craft where your food is on the menu. Like, where it's the, like, I think of, when I think of a cook, I think of a person that can cook anyone's food. Like, hey, you give me a recipe, I can slam this out of the park. But I think of a chef of when, like, hey, I put my own spin on this. This is what I added to it. This is what I took away. This is the culinary decisions I made, And in the sense of like a DJ making a playlist, like, here's my menu. This is what represents me right now. And so that's why I think of you guys both as chefs in that way, because you guys have like made a palette not only in the traditional, like you made something authentically you. So that's where I'm just coming from and why I thought of it that way.
I really like that.
So I'm gonna call y'all chefs from now on. I'm like, what up, chef? How you doing?
I mean, Ethan and Richard do call us chef.
They do.
So,
See,
which is very.
They try to normalize it.
Yeah,
I
which is great. I mean, if we're talking about like being a woman in a professional kitchen, I haven't.
not a woman in a professional kitchen, a boss in a professional kitchen.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. You're right. That's right.
How'd she do the hair?
That's right.
That's straight up Jesus move, by the way.
He does do that. He goes, you know.
Oh man, I pick up that man's mannerisms and it makes me mad. I think it's also amazing within your guys' roles because both of you are like the faces that people see. But I also think of, and no slack being thrown, I think of sometimes like people more recognizing you guys for doing the food than your partners within it. That's what I'm saying. Ain't throwing no shade, ain't throwing no slack. Don't get in the car ride home and catch an elbow, okay? Like,
You hear that, Ethan? No, just kidding.
I am the boss. I am chef. You will respect me.
He's dying over there.
I just imagine that now I'm just the inner voice for women around the world of empowerment. Just like, yo, this no, I'm even gonna say that. I'm gonna take that. Let me roll that back. I'm here to listen. No, I just think it's dope. Just to be honest, I think especially within how like Portland, especially in certain segments of it, is very male led, or like, you know, there's certain, let me say this the best way. There's certain white owners of certain restaurants out here that are looked at to be as the premier. And I sometimes am like, you know how many badass women are kicking y'all asses at food and y'all picking this to be represented?
Yeah.
I mean, homie can throw down on some pork, but I mean, I know somebody can really throw down on some pork. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean that is the state of, you know, women in the industry. We're often underestimated and talked down upon, or just these assumptions that we don't have as much experience or we don't know how to do things, and so that leads to being underpaid, and that leads to harassment, and it's not a good place to be. So you know, being a woman in the industry, it's just being there is a statement in itself, because we're already going to be experiencing all these things that men don't have to experience.
Yeah.
And it's very chronic, like to the point that like a rash, right? If you have eczema like I do, it's very chronic. It's like, and it's like you have it.
Eczema and food just go hand in hand.
Like you have it, but you just deal with it, you know? And that's how I feel about like being a woman in the industry. Like we actually experience harassment and underestimation like on a chronic level, to the point that we have to just do what we can to get by. And so sometimes like we almost inadvertently normalize it ourselves, which is really, really sad. But I think there's a new narrative coming into play and a new movement to like elevate those stories more, and women are finding the support to be empowered in these positions. So
Yeah. I don't know, for me, food is it's a problem solving skill. You have a product and you want to convert it into this. How do I get from A to B? And I feel like for women, we're great at problem solving. I don't know about everybody, but I feel like for most, yeah. And so for me, it's just taking product A to product B.
Ooh, it's also a multitasking thing.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, yo, let me do math. Let let me be artistic. Let me like all the things in one, and doing them all at once, and not only not fucking it up, but being time sensitive to it in every step of it, which I think is definitely amazing. If I'm saying this wrong, please beat me. Sometimes I feel like the cooking industry for women is like how the rap industry is for Black people. Like, it's a thing where they stereotype us within it and saying X, Y, and Z about it. But at the same time, it's ours. And I feel like that within women within cooking, like, it's this stereotypical, like, women in the kitchen, da-da-da-da-da, and like all this stuff. But it's like, yo, if you want to treat it like, yo, we are the architects of this, then treat us like we're the architects of this. Like, we made this, like, we manifested this. Don't try to be like, yo, like, how many Michelin star restaurants are owned by women?
That's a good question.
How many restaurants in general are like woman owned? Who are the people that are usually on the covers of these magazines and talked about within in the light of this? Like, don't present this thing like it's our place within the stereotypical misogynistic view of it, but then be like, yo, we can't manifest our own destiny within this. And that's like a thing that I don't know. It unnerves me in the same way that I feel like people do that with hip hop and rap, and just being like, hey, you guys made this, but white people own this.
Yeah, I feel that, because I mean, all of these like high profile chefs talk about where their inspiration comes from, and they always talk about their mamas, their grandmamas, but when it comes to women actually being in the industry, it's like the opposite. All of a sudden, it's like,
They
you don't belong. Yeah, or like, you don't belong here, right? It's like, oh yeah, that's how cute.
It's like, you can teach home ec, but you can't teach culinary school, and it's like, what are you talking about?
Yep.
Like,
That's exactly.
I'm
My stomach's
Yeah.
my stomach's I was like, oh no, here we go. Yeah.
no,
I blame it on daylight savings.
I blame my life on daylight savings right now. I don't know. How you feeling?
Yeah, I think a good inspiration was Diane, who was here. She was doing it all on her own, opening up, Sunshine Noodles, and then Psychic, and then did the fried chicken. And I was like, wow, she's doing it all on her own. Like, that's so inspiring. She's a woman doing it all, and she was not afraid.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. We have a lot of great examples here in Portland that don't always get the credit, but also there are several that are getting the recognition that they deserve.
Yeah.
So,
And with Diane, it's like she was just on her own. And then we have Lisa, who bakes and has a whole ass family she also has to take care of and deal with children. And I'm just like, damn, I have nothing to complain about.
I know, I really don't. Like, same. Like, when it comes to Lisa and all the things that she has done and continues to do, I'm amazed by her.
Yeah.
She's definitely an inspiration.
Yes.
Like, I don't know how she does it, but it gives me hope for myself.
Yeah,
I'm like,
seriously.
okay, well, if Lisa's here, and like, I think there's hope for me in balancing all of these things that I want to do.
Yeah. And then we just have each other. We literally just hype each other up. And that's all women should do, is hype each other up.
I'm so glad I met Sophia.
Yeah.
Yeah, going into this food cart business, I'm really glad I met Sophia, just to like talk about not only food cart,
But like, just
business.
vent. Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
just
like, working
vent
with your
about
partner.
our husbands.
Yeah.
I was literally about to say, yo, like, you guys are in a unique position because you guys are both working with your partners, and one, the fact that y'all don't kill y'all selves dealing with your partners, I don't know how y'all do it.
I'm sure it's gotten close.
I'll say this.
Unclose.
I enjoyed my girl at one point when I was like DJing and stuff. She would like not manage me, but be my manager basically. And I was just like, oh, this is tight. Oh, I like this. Like, when you bossing them around and telling them what to do and they can't say nothing back, because not only it's like, yo, word, this is a person in charge, but it's also like, this is my partner. Please say something to piss her off. Please say something to piss her. I'm right here. I'm one phone call, 2 text messages, because I'm gonna miss the first one, away from getting at you. So I don't know. I think it's super dope, but also gotta be like some ups and downs. You're like, hey, yo, I told you to let it marinate. I told you to let it marinate.
Looking at you.
It's only been an hour.
Oh my
It's-
gosh.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times well, I told you. I told you.
Especially.
Eventually, you get to a point where they go, "Damn, I fucked up." Like,
I know we don't say. We
Oh,
don't
I'm
say
not
we
mad.
don't
I'm
say-
disappointed.
It gets to a point where we don't say anything at all, and they just know.
Oh yeah, silence is deafening. Yeah, nah, I'm good on that. I'm like, baby, yell at me, please, baby, yell at me. I don't want to sit in the silence. I'll do the dishes. I promise, I'll do the dishes. I remember we recently moved this last year, and the first thing I did when we got into our new place, because we were in this like weird apartment, I went out and bought a dishwasher. And I didn't just buy a dishwasher. I bought the dishwasher. I was like on YouTube.
line.
Have you ever been on YouTube looking up dishwashers to be like,
yeah.
hey, which one is the best, least stress, not gonna break? I'm like, yep, no, they ain't gonna do it. I only got 4.5 stars. I need 5, baby. I need 5.
I read those reviews.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So I was just like, so I can be like, no. I unload the dishwasher. I did X, Y, and Z. And she's like, did you now? I'm like, okay. Yeah, my girl's a black woman at heart. But nah, like, how is it? Like, it's gotta have its ups and its downs, but I'm guessing there's more ups than downs.
Yeah, I would say so. It was hard. It's hard at first.
Yeah.
I have this memory of like working somewhere before going full time on the cart, and I was telling the girl there, "Oh, I'm going to open a business with my husband," and she straight up said, "Oh, my parents opened a business together and they got divorced. It just didn't end well." And I was like, "Oh, thanks for putting the energy out
Why
there."
do people do that?
Oh God.
Why do
And I was
people
like,
do that?
"Okay,
Hey, throw me that coffee, Jesus.
coffee."
You gone? Bruh. He's a savage. It's all good. I got water. It's fine. Yeah, that's a wild trip. I can't believe someone said that to you with
Yeah,
a straight
I've gotten
face.
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
But-
like
I remember when I told Jerry, I was like, honestly, the biggest thing is communicating with each other, because we both have worked in different fields before working together. And so our work ethics are different. The way we communicate is different. So I shouldn't expect my partner to know what I'm thinking or how I do things is the right way and the way he does things is the wrong way. And that's something I had to learn. Like, okay, not every way, not my way isn't the right way. Like, as long as the thing gets done, that's all that matters. And then just learning to communicate with each other. So that's literally something that like Richard and I had to learn. Was just, we had to sit down one day because literally we were bumping heads so much. And I was at the point where I was like, you know what, maybe this isn't for us.
that's real.
Yeah. And so we had to sit down and be like, what is your work ethics? Like, how is it, like when you would go to work at your 9-to-5 job, like what is your work ethic? And then I sat down and be like, this is how I work. So when you tell me something, I prefer that you tell me like this. Like, I need a list of things. Like, you can't just tell me to do something and I don't know how exactly to do it. Like, I need you to be like, I need description. Like, tell me. So we just learned that, and then things just was so much better after that, just learning to communicate.
Instead of being your love language, it's your cook language.
Listen, that's real. Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
truly
yo.
like, yeah, and I agree. Like, and I remember you told us that, you know, like just because he does it, like his processes might be different, doesn't always mean like it's the right or wrong way. And the goal is to always get it done.
Yeah.
And I think I love that you talk about communication, because that was the thing for us, how we communicate. But also I learned like how we react to bad situations, like the kind of stress that we have and how we react.
That's a big one.
Is different. And I have to understand, like, if he reacts a certain way,
not to take it personal.
And like if I react a certain way, or this is how I react to stressful situations, and sometimes I just need time to just sit. So that was a big one too.
Because Richard, he lashes out when it's stress. He's just like, and I'm just like, we got this, we're good.
Yeah,
and, you know, it's good. We're gonna get through this. It's fine.
I gotta say, like, you two, same chill level, same kind of easygoing vibe I can get. You and Richard
we're opposite.
It's one of those things where, all right, when you put someone next to their partner, like their picture, and you're just like, these fit. Y'all fit. I'm like, I can see this as a couple. This works. You two, same thing. But personality-wise, like how loud Richard is and boisterous about stuff, even his style, I would say.
Yes.
Like,
Very different.
And then you're just like, But it's just, it's hilarious only in the sense of, and you know how people say, before you marry someone, you need to go travel with them. And you travel with them, you get to learn how they are. I have a difference of opinion. Before you marry someone, you need to cook with them. And you need to cook with them for your family. Yeah. So you can really tell like how it is. And you need to do the vice versa for their family. So you need to be in a position of being like, hey, you need to take the wheel on this. I need to back you up. And I need to sit up here in this situation, take the wheel on it. You need to back me up. If you can survive 2 Thanksgiving dinners or whatever type of dinners in those situations where y'all got to cook and everything else, and then you have to live with your mama's, who made this macaroni and cheese? I know this wasn't my child. Like, once you go through that, then I'm like, all right, cool. Then you can go take a vacation and see if all the rest of the stuff works out.
Nice.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's the key. I think you just unlocked the key to marriage and relationships. Because that's hard.
Trust me, I have all the advice. I don't take none of it on my own.
Same. I'm great at giving advice.
I'm like, let me be your therapist, but don't let me be my own manager. No, I think just cooking in general is a special thing. I want to bring this to y'all's attention, and I really need your opinion on this. So I dabble in cooking. I would say, hey, don't you dare. You've not ate one piece of food that I've ever made. You cannot laugh. Anyways, before I was so rudely interrupted.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. So I feel like I can cook. Definitely don't consider myself a chef or anything else like that. Learned from my mom. She showed me everything. And my mom's a fire ass cook. My mom was like, hey, all the friends are like, yo, we gonna go over to Kevin's house mad early because his mom be making breakfast, and we know one of the homies is staying over, so she's definitely making breakfast. We getting in on that. That's how like people were with my mom. Wow. So all that to say, I learned and grew up with chicken being cooked in a microwave. I've said this several times to Ian, and he says it's blasphemy. Though, and I know this is the ultimate thing you do not cook in a microwave. I cooked fish in a microwave, and he was like, oh, this slams. And he still does not believe that I can do chicken in the microwave. So I did not do this episode. I wanted to do this with you guys. I was going to prepare and cook chicken in the microwave, have you guys test it, so then I can be like, see, Ian, it slaps. I didn't get to do that today. But do you believe that chicken in the microwave can slap?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it also depends on what kind of microwave, because there's a lot of microwaves out there that are like really good.
Well, see, all right, I'm gonna break it down. So I take like a glass baking dish, put water in there. I season and marinate the water. Or it's not marinate the water, but I season the water, and then I marinate the chicken and I season the chicken. So when I cook it, I keep flipping that.
I was gonna
What
say,
cut
do
of-
you flip it?
Yeah, what cut of chicken?
Oh, my favorite is legs, but
With the bone in?
with the bone in, yeah, and cook it. I literally did not. I thought you were trying to be bougie if you cook chicken in an oven or anything else besides like a rotisserie. I'm like, you being bougie, just cook it in the microwave like it's supposed to be cooked. Like I had no idea until I literally went over to a white friend's house and their like family was like cooking in the oven. I'm like, why? You know how long that's gonna take? That's like hours. Why are we gonna waste that much time? And then they're just like, buddy, it doesn't take hours to cook chicken in an oven. And how else do you do it? And I was like, in the microwave, like a normal person. and then my whole world was literally destroyed.
Oh man.
Wow.
Well, I feel like that's why they invented an air fryer. It's a mixture of an oven and a microwave together.
Yeah.
Ethan's favorite.
I thought it was like a deep fryer and a convection oven.
Oh,
Is
I
it
guess
an oven
it's
and a
air fryer.
microwave? Because it's a fryer.
I don't
so it's
know.
a
I
deep
don't
fryer.
have one.
It's basically just an oven with a pan in it.
Not just.
It
I
makes
want an
things
air fryer,
crispy.
and he's like, "We have an oven.
I
You don't
I
need an
now
air
just bring
fryer."
up different cooking things. I'm like, what is this cooking thing?
Well, okay. I think I don't judge the process.
Yeah,
Like it's the
same.
result. So if it's really good chicken, I mean that blows my mind. I do want to try it.
Yeah, I do
because,
wanna try it too.
Cooking chicken in a microwave does save time, I would imagine.
it's
and
fire and it's juicy as hell. Like
we like juicy
Yeah,
chicken.
I believe it. I remember in college, I took a class and the professor was teaching all of us how to cook meals in the microwave because college students are just like on the go. So
I so thought you were going to be like, I dated a black dude in college and he taught me how to cook chicken in a microwave.
oh man, no. But
He's like, but the
yeah.
professor was black.
I don't remember actually. But yeah, he taught us how to make like rice and eggs in the microwave and just like make scrambled eggs in the microwave, make da-da-da. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, cool.
I heard that you can make like the best bacon in a microwave to get it like perfectly crispy. but not dry. So yeah,
It's
I'll believe it.
weird enough. My girl and now my mom does this because she used to always do the skillet with the bacon. She now does bacon in the microwave only because it's the only way my child will eat it. He's weird.
Wait, he has to see it come out of the microwave?
He can tell the difference.
Oh, wow.
He, like I'll cook him breakfast
Wow.
and put it down, and he'd be like, "Is that Daddy toast?" I was like, "Yeah, that's Daddy toast." He's like, "All right," but he's like, "Oh, Mama toast? Yeah, throw that in there. It's good. Yeah, that's scrumptious." And I'm like, "Your mom, she literally has a Hello Kitty microwave from my daughter since she was like 3, and puts it just bread in, toast it, and like." And here's the smallest piece of butter ever. All right, there you go, honey. And I'm just like, hey, here's a skillet. I'm gonna take some butter, put it in there. I'm gonna sometimes now I take the side that doesn't have any butter on it. I butter one side, put it upside down so it melts into the bread. And then when it gets a little bit of the golden brown on one side, then I flip it over and do it.
That's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it.
I throw, hey, yo, if single Kevin still existed, I would be out in the world just being like, yo, just let me make you breakfast. And I'm not saying like in the morning afterwards. I'm like, let me make you breakfast so then you want to invite me to come back over the next night to stay over to then have breakfast again.
Strategy.
That's
the move.
That would be my move. I wouldn't have no lines. I'd just be like, let me cook you breakfast. Do you like your eggs with cheese in them? I'm gonna fuck up your life. I'm gonna put 3 types of cheese in this. It's just gonna mess you up. But no, all right. Very serious question. How do you cook your rice? I think this right here is the ultimate difference of what people think and how it should be cooked. How it should be cooked.
I grew up cooking rice in a pan. So you pan fry the rice first. Onions, tomatoes, sometimes bell peppers, but usually onions, tomatoes, saute.
Mm-hmm.
Once it gets crispy, throw water in there. And then usually in my family, we have like bouillon. So it's either tomato bouillon or chicken bouillon, and we used to throw it in there, mix it up. So it has some type of flavor. Yeah. And that's Hispanic rice. I don't know, that's like my household, that's how we would make rice.
For Asian jasmine rice, we do have a rice cooker, and I wash my rice.
Yes.
I know that's a big debate.
Yo,
I
black
wash my
people, do you
rice.
wash your chicken or do you not? I'm a washer.
Yeah, I wash my rice. It does make a difference in the texture too, I think, because it sits in the water a little bit, so it makes your rice fluffy. And then from here in our household, it's just like we are split because I like my rice fluffy and I add a little bit more water, so it's almost like a sticky rice, but not where it's mushy. Like you have to find that balance. Ethan likes his rice a little bit drier, and he puts oil in the rice cooker. And when I learned he did that, I was shocked. I was like, "You don't do that?" And he learned it at his restaurant, at his fancy restaurant.
All right. Can I tell you how I cook my rice?
Yeah.
All right. I learned this from Leung. When I found out that they put the chicken broth in the rice, it turned my world upside down. So I wash my rice, throw a little bit of salt in there, throw a little bit of butter in there because I'm black, because we always have to put butter in everything. And then I'll sit up here, and this is back in the day when I was trying to make meals quick, being a young dad. I would take the whole rotisserie chicken from wherever I got it, and I would just dump the juices into the rice as it was cooking.
I'm gonna do that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I do that too. If I ever make chicken and I have stock, I just use the stock to make rice.
I use the water in my microwave chicken as gravy.
That's a great
Yeah,
idea.
that's good.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it's dope. It's great. I'm having way too much fun right now.
We are too. I am too.
Yes, we are.
This is very enjoyable. I feel bad. I feel like I just should have pulled up a chair, but nah. Like I'm gonna bring you. You know what? I'm gonna bring you back with Richard.
Oh,
then
that'll be.
I can make sure to let you have a nice, enjoyable dinner that night with your spouse, because they're definitely going to. Yep.
So Richard's on the 20th. Just a heads up.
Next Monday.
Yeah.
No, it can't be next Monday.
Why?
It's my birthday.
Aw.
You're gonna make me sit with two amazing human beings on my birthday and not go snowboarding? Damn you.
Yeah, I think you got to change that.
Yeah.
Oh, happy early birthday.
Yes, happy
Thank
early
you.
birthday.
I keep forgetting that it's literally my birthday next week, and I'm not looking forward to it.
I'm like that too. I forget about my birthday and I don't look forward to it.
I don't. I'm like, can we stop with them? I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm good.
It should just be a day of not giving a shit about anything and doing whatever it is that your heart desires for that whole day.
Big ass self-care day.
Yo,
Like,
yes.
leave me alone.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, when's your birthday? Oh, my self-care day is March 20th. I will not be receiving or answering any phone calls, text messages, unless it involves a mountain or a mountain with alcohol. That's it. It's okay. I'll go right afterwards. Immediately afterwards.
Happy early birthday.
Well, you'll be in good company.
You gonna do it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, this is gonna be fucking hilarious.
I know. It's going to be a different vibe.
It'll definitely be a
even
different vibe.
between Richard and Ethan, because Richard's like we said, And
He's
then
100.
and Ethan's just chill.
Yeah.
But Richard honestly has like two different vibes. It's either he's like posted, like
Like he's like this, like oh,
exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
like,
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to make sure the camera was gonna be perfect. Or he's like laughing, like hella big and loud. Like
Yeah.
it's one or the other.
depends
Yeah.
on the weed he smokes.
I mean, we can do a ganja fill episode. Hey, that's
Ganja?
dude. You have no idea. I wanted to do because one episode of the show we had this famous producer come on and record label owner and had a little bit had some drinks. It was a late night drip. We didn't do it in the morning. We ended up having to do it late. Anyways, he got blasted, and I mean blasted. And I kept being like, "Yo, bro, you got to leave because you have a show," and he would not leave. And at the very tail end of it, I damn near had to what? Oh, okay.
Bye.
Bring me another cup of coffee. Basically, at the end of it, I was like, I have to kick you. You got to go. I got to kick you off. We gotta end this. You're about to miss your show, and it just made me be like, oh man, this would be so funny to do this. Like every episode, like toke up or drink. I don't really smoke
You're gonna
weed.
be like drink champs.
But instead of just doing the regular format, I'd be like, all right, word, go out. You can't see it because we're in the process of moving. I don't know if you could tell outside.
Oh.
So the reason why that thing is over there is like a curtain over the door is literally because that room is a disaster. It looked like a bomb went off in there. Also, if you can't tell, I'm a nerd. I have a lot of toys.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
The fact
Like
that
these here.
I am not a 40-year-old virgin is damn near. When you go in that room, you're like, you have kids? Some woman said yes.
I think those are really interesting people.
Yeah,
I don't
same.
like. I love when I can see like this personality versus like putting up a front. Like, oh, I'm so cool. Like
I don't watch anime, and then you go to
yeah.
their house and they have all the anime.
Yeah, I love seeing that stuff. I love because I'm like that too. I'm a nerd in Harry Potter
Yes.
and
Same.
like good
Wait,
sci-fi shows.
are you playing the game?
Not
I
yet,
want
but I
to.
want to. Yeah, it's on my list.
I want to.
I have other games I need to finish.
But then I heard some people were getting canceled for playing it.
You know what?
And I was
because of-
like, who cares? I'm still playing it.
This is my thing.
Oh, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
yeah.
I separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, same.
I'm like, and I think they just said, did you guys watch the Chris Rock special yet?
Yes.
No.
All right.
didn't.
When he says the whole entire thing about Michael Jackson and R. Kelly, and he's like,
Yep.
"Hey, yo, y'all cancel cancel R. Kelly, but y'all still listening to Michael Jackson." And I was just like,
I was like, damn, that's me.
I'm like, yo, the likelihood of anybody finding success in that kind of creative field is either worked with somebody horrible, is owned by somebody horrible, or has done some horrible things themselves to get to that position. Because like the way to make it in mainstream media nowadays seems crazy to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially for women. That shit. I'm like, praise to all y'all, because the things that y'all have to go through, hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
Let someone slide in my DMs or something. Trust me, I am that nerdy dude that has like 18 samurai swords. I will end things. All that to say, I had to separate the art from the person, and to be able to enjoy certain stuff, because I always look at the Cosby Show. The Cosby Show did so many right things for Black people, and he did horrible things, but the rest of that cast did amazing things.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're going to punish 15 Black people to get at one of them reminds me of how they treated us back in the day, where it's like, hey, just because one Black person did something, we don't label all Black people for that.
Yep.
I agree. Yep.
So that's my personal opinion. That's just me. But I don't know. We have to get to these segments. and I really just want to sit and chat with y'all more.
I know.
This has been a lot of fun.
We can talk about anything.
It's like reading Rainbow. You can go anywhere.
I love that show.
Dude, yo, Geordie LaForge. Yeah, that's the dude from Star Trek. I'm also a Star Trek nerd.
I've never got into Star Trek,
Yeah,
but I
me
heard really
either.
good things.
Yeah.
Certain parts of it, fire. Other parts of it, I'm like,
Could be better.
could be better. Could be better. We could work on this. It's funny. I always feel like those kind of sci-fi things are better as like I feel like Harry Potter is really good because there's so many books and there's a long episodic story basically told to it. It's like basically it's like 3 seasons of really good TV is the Harry Potter series to me.
What house would you be in?
Me? Well, I used to be a Gryffindor, but that was when I was in college, and
Did you do the online thing?
I did Pottermore. Yeah, I did that, and I was Gryffindor. But now I did a BuzzFeed one, and I'm Hufflepuff, which actually
I think
resonates
I got that
more.
one too.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely Hufflepuff.
Gryffindor?
I think Gryffindor. I don't know. I never took the quiz.
Yeah,
I
haven't
say
taken it in
Gryffindor
a
because you're a
while.
Leo.
I did it with my girlfriend and my daughter at the time, and the first one we did, she came up as Slytherin, and she was just like, "Oh hell no, this ain't what my girlfriend. Nah, this ain't what I am." And then I think she got Ravenclaw, and I was like, "That's on the nose, baby." That's on the nose. And she's like, "No, I'm Gryffindor. Like I know I'm a Gryffindor. I am Gryffindor." And I was like, "I don't sound like somebody from Gryffindor." Yeah. But no, it was super funny. She kept taking different tests until she finally got one that said Gryffindor, and she's like, "See here, look." And I was like, "Baby, I think that one just gives everybody Gryffindor." But you know what? Tell yourself what you got to tell yourself. Have you guys been to Harry Potter Land yet?
Yes.
Yes.
In Disney or Universal Studios.
Yeah, I went like a couple of years after they opened, so it wasn't as built out.
Yeah,
So
now
I want to
they've
go
added
back.
a lot. Yeah,
I want to go back.
Me too.
I got you know how you can do the little tour thing to get your wand? So I tried to bribe the person that was doing it so they would select my kid to be the kid that got the wand in the thing. And I don't know
would
if
do
it was
that.
like not enough money or this dude was just like hardcore like, "No, this is Harry Potter. We don't do this here." Like
He stayed in character.
yeah, he stayed in character. I was like, "Yo, bro, so what do I gotta do to make sure the Sword and Hat, sorts my way?" And he was like, "No, no, sir." And I was just like,
I feel like he gets it all the time, though.
Yeah,
Could you imagine?
probably.
Like he probably gets
"Yes," and I'd be like, "Yo, you know what my pay is?" And then you know what my pay is. I get tipped out heavy. I get that sorting out to whoever gives the most.
That's when you got to pull the feel sorry for me card.
I mean, it'd be like when I come up to the car and be like, "Are you guys really sold out?
No,
Y'all ain't got nothing in the back?"
oh my gosh.
I'm sure somebody got a lunch bag back there.
Oh, I can't tell you how many times I have given my portion where
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I could eat this that I've put aside, or I can get money.
Yeah,
And so it always comes down to
the money. Yeah,
like we're running a business, so like when we're sold out, we are sold out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes I oversell, which annoys Ethan.
yeah.
It's like, "Oh, we got to go grocery shopping for tomorrow?"
No, like in
You
the
got to go
moment.
grocery shopping for tomorrow.
In the moment,
Yeah, in
you
the
oversell.
moment,
Oh my
yeah.
god, Richard used to be so mad at me for doing that.
Oh, like he's like, so what we had, we
Yeah.
don't have.
Yeah, so I can give you this, or here's your money back.
Do you want something else? Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna start off with one of our segments because we're getting to the end of the show. It is my new favorite. It's the racial draft. Usually, I represent the black delegation. How do you guys want to do this? You want to pick someone to officially become black, or do you guys want to choose? You want to represent your own unique delegation.
I don't know. Wait, I still don't understand what we're doing.
So, all right. So how it basically goes, Dave Chappelle did this skit, it's called The Racial Draft. And in it, the black delegation selected someone to then make officially black. And it doesn't have to be someone that necessarily is like light skinned or like they chose Tiger Woods. So like Tiger Woods is officially black. They also then gave up Condoleezza Rice and some other black mixed race politician, and they gave him to the white delegation.
Yeah,
and then they're like, the black delegation would like to select Eminem, and they're like, nope, not part of the deal, not a part of the deal. And then, but they're like, but you get OJ back, and they're like, hey. So,
I have someone I would put up there.
Okay.
It's my little brother Mauricio, because he just recently did an event with Ian.
Oh, wow.
For the Black History Month event. So he came and helped Ian at the event, and the way he was describing the process of the beans, which were, I guess, made in like Ethiopia. So he goes, yeah, so our beans, we make them in like our home, he like literally represented himself as a black dude. And like the people were listening, they're like, wow, that's a great story. I love it. And he was selling the coffee. So Ian was like, you know what? You're officially black.
You're officially black. Dude, what is up with your family that they just all becoming black now?
I don't know.
All right, word. Yeah. Goodbye fried rice, hello fried chicken. Which side you gonna do? You gonna do Filipino? Or you gonna do black?
Oh,
hey yo.
I can't think of anyone
That you want to steal and make a part of either race. I thought of it the other day and I can't remember.
Fam.
Who would you add into the ecosphere of Filipino? Are you still thinking about yours?
Me? Yeah. I had it the other day and I'm totally slipping on it right now. Maybe I put it in my notes real quick.
I don't know.
Ooh.
Who would I nominate to be a Filipino?
You can just choose someone to be a part of black delegation. It might be a little easier. We've gotten Cousin Skeeter. We said Darth Vader. Only Darth Vader, not Anakin Skywalker, because the actual guy that played Darth Vader was black.
Yeah.
And so many people didn't get that reference when we did it. They're like, but Anakin Skywalker's white. And I was like, do you not remember that Mufasa, the voice, the voice of Darth Vader? That is not who the actor James Earl Jones. What, is it James Earl Jones?
That's a great question. Let me look it up.
Is the voice of Darth Vader.
Yes, it is.
It is? All right.
Oh.
I'm good with that name.
Fact checked.
You thinking about it?
Yeah, I'm still thinking. But I want to say, in terms of adopting someone as Filipino, maybe Jesus, because he is always on our cart. He is always open to trying new things. And I gave him the palabok because he was like, I want to try something new one day. And he did try the palabok and he liked it because that can be a very different dish. And he gets us involved in chisme and yeah.
Welcome to the family.
And really tries to pronounce the words correctly. So, welcome.
Honored.
You know, I thought what was really going to be said when your name was brought up is that you just kind of built like an auntie. I'm gonna get it after the show.
And the fact that your name is Jesus and like Filipinos love Jesus. One of our curse words includes Jesus. Sos Mariosip.
What?
Sos Mariosip. I don't know if that's not a curse word. It's just an expression that Filipinos use. Like, ay, sos Mariosip. And it's literally Jesus, Mary, Joseph.
I was going to say, I kind of hear it in there.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Wow. Yeah. That was a very unique pick. I love how we usually go for celebrities, but I guess Jesus is a local celebrity, so we'll accept that. I'm trying to. I'm still having trouble with mine. I said Carlton already. I said Russell Wilson. I said.
You're still funny for that.
I said the dude from Steph Curry. I'm trying to think of who. You know what? To continue on, with a very specific category of people, I'm going to. Is it Ashley Banks? What's the light skinned? No, sorry, not Ashley Banks. I'm trying to think of the mom's name. The mom from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The light-skinned one that they brought into the second season. After they had the chocolate queen, they sit up here and went with the light skin. You know what?
Vivian.
She did Vivian. She did an amazing job for years. No, she was not the original mother. And yes, they even pointed out a joke on the show being like, she looks different.
Yeah.
You know what? You officially black.
I think her name is Jeanette Louise Herbert.
Hey, if you can bring up a picture and throw it on the screen, go for it.
I got you.
Dude, I just, that you know what? She wasn't our original black mom, but she was still a black mom.
Yeah.
And I want to give her representation and her reparations, because she probably got screwed in that deal if they brought her. You see?
Yeah.
Even, yeah, it's just hilarious. Can you click on? Oh man, can you just go to the images real quick? I want to see if this picture comes up. Yeah, just click on this one.
Point at it again, good friend.
Right here.
All right, got you.
All right, prime example. Them being younger, both look around the same age. Go up to the picture of her when they're old. See, black don't crack. Black don't crack. Mama still looking good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mama look good. That's the one thing they don't tell you. When you dilute yourself a little bit, you age just a little bit quicker. Just a little bit quicker.
And when they did the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion, she came back.
Yeah, they switch on and off. Yeah.
Yeah, she had like her own she didn't come with the whole crew when they did the reunion, but Will Smith ended up meeting with the original mom because they hadn't seen each other since she left the show.
Yeah.
They didn't talk to each other. I was like, wow.
Yo, I think, you know how you always call me a colorist? Okay. I think well, because I kept saying Steph Curry and all these people, and like, oh, you're saying light skinned people. I was like, no, literally, Dave Chappelle picked Tiger Woods because it was a question of within
Is
it.
he? Like,
huh? But with that being said, Will Smith has had a lot of beef with dark skinned people. I'm just saying. His mama, Chris Rock.
Yeah, I was just thinking of Chris Rock because it's like the anniversary of the slap heard around the world.
He came out with a stand-up. And
he talked about it.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch it yet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel? Do you feel like it was right for Will Smith to smack Chris Rock, or do you think it was
totally wrong?
Totally wrong.
Yeah. Not on national television. If you got beef, you are grown-ass adult men in a professional setting. Deal with that shit behind the curtains.
That I will agree with you. That should not. We don't do that shit in front of white people. Chris Rock said that in the special. I definitely believe that. You're totally correct. I have a low tolerance for shit that does not involve me. People mess with me, I'll take it as long as I can, do my best. You do that with my girl, my family, my friends, anyone in front of me, I have no threshold. I'm coming for that ass.
And that's kind of where I stand too. Like I don't think the way
you taking notes
that it happened.
Don't sit up here and be caught at an award show slipping, all right?
Yeah,
you better get your ass up there.
Yeah, and it's just, I agreed that the way that it played out, it was just unfortunate and uncomfortable, but it was a very sensitive subject in general for Black women. Mm-hmm. And so for him to do that, you have to think of the bigger conversation that we're trying to have here. And that joke just had layers of insult and just downplaying an issue that's very important to Black women. And it just
Black women's hair is very important to them. You don't
and
but so, also you do not go on a round table and sit up here and be like, I had a situation with my son's best friend.
Yeah.
Let me interview my husband and you see how he feels about it.
Right.
Yeah.
You gonna put a condition on that man for the rest of his life. And Will Smith is already, can we all say, the softest rapper ever?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's a Brian Gumble of rap. Yeah. To get slapped by the softest rapper ever. Saying a lot. Saying a lot. I will give you he's a sizable dude, but he also didn't curse ever.
No. Yeah.
All right. So that was our selection of the racial draft representing the Black delegation. We chose whatever the light-skinned mama's name.
Jeanette.
All right. So the next segment we're gonna get into is called Grind Your Beans, where we talk about. All right. Let me do the official. I love doing this. So this next segment is called Grind Your Beans, where we talk about what's irking you, bothering you, annoying you. It can be big, it can be small, it can be deep, it can be shallow. But please tell us, ladies, what is grinding your beans? Just letting you know, I thought this was going to be totally opposite. I thought you were going to be way more chatty, and you like, yes. I definitely agree with that. I like how much you came out of your shell.
Thank you. That's
great.
Very validating. I feel validated.
What grinds your beans?
What grinds my beans? Oh my gosh, there's so many because we were talking about this too,
we
like
were
trying to
talking about
prepare ourselves.
Because there's so many. I'm like,
there are actually so many. But
Terrence did a list.
He did?
He stayed over, I think, 30 minutes giving us his list. He's like, I got to be out of here by 10:30 on the dot. And we're just like, all right, no problem. I'm like, yo, bro, it's 10:15. He's like, I know, I got to keep going.
He's not
Yo,
done.
it's 10:45. Yo, bro, I know, I got more. And I'm like, yo, bro, it's 11 o'clock. You need to leave. And he's just like, can I come back and finish? And I'm like,
just an
yeah,
episode.
sure, get out. Bye.
He said he's going to come back with a new list.
A new list.
wow.
He didn't get finished with the first one.
I know, but it was good. It was a good list.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Well, okay, I'll start. So for me, what grinds my beans is when customers come to our food cart and ask, what's good here? I'm like, literally my reaction is nothing. We make everything here is horrible. Don't buy anything. That's why we only have 6 things on the menu for you to choose from, and every single one of them is different. Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
Can I? They white, aren't they?
Most of the time.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I
that's
just feel like it's
one
a
of them,
slap
too.
to my face.
Yeah,
I'm like, what do you mean
it's
what's
just
good
like
here?
what's good here. Like you make everything. It's not like
And you're not
I'm
asking
just
a server. You're literally asking the cook.
the owner. Yeah, the cook and the owner, and it's just like we don't like. Okay, I'm just gonna make these dishes good, but I'm gonna half-ass these ones.
Yeah.
It's like we're not those kinds of people. But yeah, that's a good one. Like an extension of that is like when people come to the cart and they look at the menu, and we have a very short menu. It's very curated because it's just us two, and they say, is this it? And they're like looking around like,
Oh, yeah.
like we have some kind of hidden menu in the corner, and I'm like, is this it? Yeah, this is our wonderful selection of curated dishes that we make. And they still ask me, but do you have hollow hollow?
Yes.
And I'm like, what did I just say?
Yeah.
So that
No
grinds my genes.
substitutions.
Another one that I experience all the time is like when I open up the window just to say hi, and people like panic, and they're just like, I'm just looking at the menu.
Yeah.
And they cut me off, and I'm like, I'm just trying to say hi. I'm not like trying to sell you a car or have you sign a petition that you don't want to sign. I'm just saying hello.
You are coming up here to get food, possibly. So maybe I can make a suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's always
That was a good one. The other one is like we've come up on like when people search for food, they'll type in Vietnamese and sometimes our cart will come up. So people come and they're like, yeah, I searched you guys. It's Vietnamese food, right? We're like, yeah, it's a fusion, American Vietnamese. And they're like, oh, so can I get pho or banh mi? They don't even look at the menu. They just ask for these things. And I'm just like, so we don't serve that. This is our menu. And they're just like, okay, so can I get a banh mi? I'm like, these are sandwiches, but, it's kind of, but not really.
You can get a donut or a burger. Shut your mouth and go.
Yeah. And sometimes they just walk away because they're just like, oh, this is not what it said online. I'm like, I don't know what it said online, but we do not serve those things.
Can I give one for you guys? Yelp. I feel like every restaurant owner, any person that has a business like that, hates that because you can literally it's a scam and a con because you have to pay to sit up here, be part of their whatever for them to be like, well, we could delete this one bad comment or realize that this is like, someone harassing you, or you can join our membership and sit up here and pay us X amount of money a month.
Oh, we got with that. And then we saw $300 leave our account. I'm like, for Yelp? For what? What are they doing for me?
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're helping you with your SEO. It's like, once again, I have a line already that I don't want to serve. I was just trying to get this Karen off my timeline talking about us. Like, I also think that's one of the.
I hate Yelp. For me, it's one of those things where it's like, if you have something bad to say, just don't say it at all. Like, just don't go eat there again. Why do you got to voice it? Just because you had a bad experience doesn't mean everybody else is going to have that bad experience.
Yeah. And it's so interesting, like with bad reviews, the way their tone is like, we were intentionally malicious.
Yeah.
Like, we specifically chose this person to make really bad food for. And it's just like, it's not like that. We are human at the end. And that's one thing that grinds my beans when customers treat service people like machines.
Yeah.
Like we're supposed to give them a specific kind of experience. And if we don't, like, something's wrong with us. When at the end of the day, we're just humans and we make mistakes sometimes.
And the thing is like, and I've been guilty of this in the past. I had to get woken up to it. That's like you said, you're not a machine. So there's certain points where it's like you might be stacked with food orders. People expect their food to be done at a certain rate of speed, and they want to get in and they want to get out, hungry, whatever. And it's like, you're not a machine. You can't do that. A mistake may happen, and people not realizing how to come up to someone and be like, hey, this thing happened. Is it okay? And just being able to switch out, make it a non-crazy thing, but instead being like, oh my God, the rice wasn't cooked perfectly. The chicken was a little too crispy. This is blasphemy. And it's just like, yo, just go up and be like,
Yeah.
Like, what is a proper phrase to say within that situation? To be like, to not disrespect the cook, but still be like, hey, can I exchange this out?
Yeah, I think we've accidentally served some raw chicken before in the beginning. Just accidents happen.
Yeah.
And like we've
You
had
mean
customers.
Richard had beef and tried to give someone salmonella?
I don't know, maybe. But yeah, the customer just came back and was like, hey, I like bit into it. It's a little raw. We're like, oh.
Yeah.
But they weren't trying to make a scene. They just brought it. And we just did the whole exchange nicely and gave them a new chicken, and that was it. They went on their merry way.
Yeah, I think it's just simplicity is key. Just say what it is. It's like one time we served too hot of chicken, and like the biodegradable forks that we have were melting, and she thought it was like plastic melting into her food.
Okay.
And she was just like, "Hey, do you mind if I just get another one? Because I don't feel comfortable eating this chicken, knowing that my fork melted into it," which is already a weird situation.
Yeah.
And we're like, "Yeah, sure. If it's like solution oriented, like." Yeah, we're just gonna handle it or give your money back, make you something else. But there are some people who just want to be proven right. They don't want a solution, and those people I can't argue with.
I can't argue with those.
I'm gonna give you a couple of options. If those aren't enough, then this is something that you need to figure out in your life.
Yeah.
You know what this sounds like? This sounds like Sounds About White. Our next segment and our final segment of the day, Sounds About White, where we basically show the blander side of Portland, I'll say. In a city that is full of flavor, we find the blandness. All right, let me see if I can get this
Looking
account
forward
up
to this
real
one.
quick. Oh man, it's okay. This is the best thing ever.
I'm like, am I gonna see something pop up?
Yeah, I'm gonna pop it up right now. It's just I have to get everything ready and set and make sure all of it's ready to go. And sometimes I'm, making sure the audio's going the right way. Yeah, I'll just do it that way. Okay.
I'm tempted to check your pockets. In fact, I'm calling the fucking police.
You can call who you like to call, ma'am, but I gotta go.
No, you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere.
You know this lady?
You are not fucking going
You might
anywhere.
want to get this lady. You know her?
She just signed that package and spoke to what she got it already.
Okay, well, I didn't
You
check
are
the
not
package.
fucking going anywhere.
Well, I didn't check the package. She need to call Fetch and deal with Fetch. But she's not going to threaten me, and she's not going to hit me. And if she touch me, I'm going to knock her out. I'm gonna let you know.
I'm taking a picture of you.
You can
I am
take all the
fucking
pictures you want.
contacting
I am
Fetch.
filming you right now. Because you are
I don't
really...
believe you. You stole my
Don't hit me,
wallet.
ma'am. Don't you hit me.
You
Don't
stole
hit me.
Hey, snap out of it.
Handing this to the fucking landlord.
I don't care what you do. I didn't see anything.
I am not.
All right. So the
That makes
first,
my heart
I know,
race.
that made me tired.
Yeah.
because you've dealt with it.
Oh man.
I have had a Karen in the service industry a long time ago who revolted in this way, like shaking because it was 30 minutes after closing, and I had the audacity to not ask her if she wanted dessert after her meal. And she set her sake down. She was like, "You didn't even ask me if I wanted dessert." Very calmly. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want dessert?" We have one, like mochi ice cream. And she went off and was yelling, shaking like this, like, "This is not service. I've worked in the service industry for 40 years. And like, you should be ashamed of yourself." And all of this yelling. And then she slams the receipt down and makes a big fat 0 in the tip section. She's like, "I'm not tipping." And I'm just like, at the time I was like 20 though, so I actually did cry.
Yeah.
Because it was very like violent.
Same. The first time
Yeah.
I dealt with a Karen, I cried because I was just like, what is happening? What did I do? And I worked in a clinic, so I would check in patients. And I worked at a children's clinic, and this mom was just lost her shit because her son was in the middle of finals. He needed a study, and the doctor was taking forever, and somehow it was my fault. And so she was just like, "I don't." And I just remember staring at her, and because I had no reaction, I was just like blank. She got even more furious because I wasn't saying anything
Like you
to
weren't
her.
reacting
Yeah.
to her.
And then afterwards, I
tantrum.
just walked away, and I was just like, "Oh my God, why do I feel like this?"
Yeah, it's so violent.
Yeah.
And like people like this obviously weren't bopped. They were
There were
get-
bop.
like
Yes,
you
and
know,
get
like
whooped.
if I talked like that to my mom, like, you know,
Yeah.
and
I would be
I'm
missing
not, like,
teeth.
you know,
Yeah.
like trying to say anything about that. But it's just like, wow, it's incredible to see the lengths that people will go, and especially over a package. It's just like, it just boggles my mind.
It's bad parenting, and I only think of it this way. No matter if you grew up with, parents that did well or parents that are a little bit below, if you were like in a minority within that, your parents taught you how to act around people. Especially like when these kind of situations happen, like, you don't go crazy. You're not going to be the example of why our race is deemed anything besides being, you are a polite, good child. And it's so crazy to me that people go off like this and do this kind of wild stuff and like blast off. I was on an airplane trying to get off. I'm a diabetic. I have a toit bladder. Gotta go. And I was trying to get off the plane, but I take the plane so often, like I know how to maneuver and get off as quick as possible. And I was trying to do it, and this lady just stood up here and blocked me. And I was like, "Mate, can I please go around?" And she was just like, "If you were in a rush, you should have got a first class ticket."
Oh.
And I was just like,
oh hell.
And I was just like, "Yo, excuse me, you don't know my circumstances. I just really need to get off the plane." And she was just like I said. And I was just like, word? And I was like, I'm not going to do nothing. I'm just going to go around you like little dip.
Yeah.
And tried to do that. And then she literally put her arm on the chair, put her leg, and was just like, no. So then I tried to move her arm up, not like aggressively or anything else. It's like, I'm going through. I have to go. And I don't want to sit up here and blab it off to the rest of the plane.
Yeah. Like, you shouldn't
She
have to
did
do
that. She's like, he's grabbing me.
Oh my
and then the lady behind me obviously can't see what's going on. Just hears a black man's grabbing a white woman, grabs me by my bag, and pulls me down to the ground.
Shit.
I damn near pissed on myself.
Oh.
And then I finally get up to get off the plane, like we all make it to the end. And you know how the pilot and the stewardess sit right there at the end and like, wish you a good trip or whatever. Goes up to him like, "This man grabbed me. What are you going to do about it?" And I was just like, yo, I tried every way to be nice about this. And you are blowing this out of proportion. Everyone else let me go by. Like if you're on a plane and you say you have something that's a situation, I even like, yo, I know I have the middle seat. Can I please have the aisle seat? Because I'm at the bathroom like 19 million times on this flight. And I don't want to annoy you. And like, take it. I'm like, I will lean all the way this way. I'll give you the most room. And your first drink's on me. Try to be as nice as I can about it. That lady ruined flying for me.
That's a shame.
Sorry you dealt with that.
Yeah, that's infuriating.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
But we always got to be on our best behavior.
yeah, right? Like we can't get away with, and even on the other side, like I almost feel like I can't get away with, I wouldn't want to, but like saying the things that she said too, right? It's like a lose-lose situation. But I just don't know, where does it come from,
They
Like,
got the
oh,
issues.
yeah, it's this entitlement. And wow.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah. I say that to say this. As being people that have grown up being minorities, and especially being minorities and being women, and once again, you guys have been able to survive the pandemic. You guys have been through so much, and you not only are still here, you're thriving. You guys both own amazing businesses. You guys both cook beautiful food, like food that people should be proud to grow up on, in the sense of like the black communities back in the day being like, yo, we grew up on your food. Like I am happy to say that, like, I hope my children and everybody else's get to say they grew up on your food. Like, you guys do a beautiful job. Your husband's all right, but I'm just really proud of y'all, proud of what you guys have been able to do, and I thank you all for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Hearing us out.
All right, real quick, tell them where they can find you, what you got going on, any of that good stuff, just where you get to plug yourself. So go ahead and drop it in there.
You can find us at MataPDX on Instagram. That's usually where we post any future events that are coming up. or you can find us on Northeast 8th and Cooch.
Yep, you'll find us on Northeast 8th and Cooch, next door to them. And our handle is at Baon Kainan. I'm going to spell it because I know it's
Yeah, you might want to do that.
BAONKAINAN. And it's Baon Kainan. Yeah, and just follow us on Instagram. We have all sorts of stuff. Updates.
You can also follow All the Homies Network.
All the Homies
I was going to say
Network.
that. I was like, yo, you know, your mic's going to be mad. You got to do the plug.
We said it. She said it.
No, once again, thank you guys for coming on. I can't wait to check out both of you guys' shows on All the Homie Network. Yeah, this has been awesome. I hope you guys both come back. I want to say I want to have just you two come back on again, but I think it'd also be now hilarious to have you with your partners after we get done with them next week.
Yeah, I can
All
do
right.
that.
It's pretty fun.
Okay. We'll figure it out. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to Your Morning Drip. I am your host, Ronan Rock. We have Jerry and Sophie on the show today. It was amazing. We have somebody else, but we'll talk about him next week. Make sure to check us out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 to 8:30 ish. We get to the show. If you tune in by 9 o'clock, we should be on.
That's being real.
Yeah. Ease into it.
Thank you for checking out the show. We really appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Go to yourmorningdrip.com and go pick something up. Yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say. Out of here. I gotta go pee. Peace. I really do have these.
Should I block you?
Oh.